Some of the well-known apps have some onboarding screens before their application starts, and that's what we want to build in this tutorial. If you are new here, subscribe to my channel and make sure to watch this video till the end. To integrate this onboarding application, we go to the pub/spec YAML file, and here inside you need to put the introduction screen plugin inside under your dependencies. After it, we go to this onboarding page, and here inside we want to integrate the introduction screen which comes from this plugin. And here inside we set first of all mandatory a done field, and this will be here on the right side our done button with the text of read, which we now create. And we also can implement later the functionality what should happen if we click on this button. The next thing is to implement here these introduction screens, and therefore you have here this property called pages, and here you put simply all the page view models inside for each page. And here inside you can set a title and a description, and then we have our first page. Like you can see, we have a title and a description. However, now we also want to add some more details, so we want to add an image, and therefore I have created here some images inside of the assets folder. So put some images inside, and also in your pub/spec YAML file, put here under the Flutter tag these assets inside. Now let's go back here to the build method and create our image. So I refer here to one of these images which I have stored here in our assets folder. So I refer to this picture here. And then we create here this build method, and here we simply call image.assets and put here our path to this image inside. And then we already have here our image inside. And what we also can do is to give here some decoration for the title and description. So here we set a title style with some bigger font size, and we also do the same for the body, and then we have here a better font size. We also can set here description padding, so you can increase this padding here around your description, and then it will look like this. And what we also can do is to set here some padding around our image so that we have here more padding around. And lastly, you can also set here page color, so I set it here to white. However, you can also choose here another page color if you like. After it, we can go here again to our pages in our build method and create the other pages. So I put here simply a different title inside, a different description. Then I also go here to a different image like before, and we take the same decoration. And I will create here simply 4 different models. And then you see here already that we have here this bubbles at the bottom, and we can basically go between our pages. And at the end we have here this read button, and then we want to later implement here the functionality what should happen if we click on this button. So let's implement our done button first. So here we simply go to our home page then if we click on this button, and therefore we simply create here this method go to home and call our navigator, and then we call here push replacement. So we want to replace our current route with the new route, and then we want to put here our home page inside. So I have simply created here another page with some text of home page and a button to actually go back to this onboarding screen. And now if we click on this button, then you should see that we go here to the home page, and we can also go here back again to our onboarding screen. Let's go again to our pages, and here for the last page you can also set, for example, a button. So here you can place a button inside by calling, for example, a raise button or something. So I have created here a new widget where I have created a raise button. And here inside I set a text, and also if we click on this button, then we also want to go to this home page. So I call here exactly the same method again. And then we have here also this button, and you also can click on this button to go to the home page. From the design perspective, we are already pretty close of what we want to achieve. However, some small things are missing. For example, the skip button, also here this button to go further. And we also can change here these bubbles to a different decoration. By the way, if you want to get this whole source code of this application, you can get it with the first link in the description. And with the second link, you can get my Flutter course where I teach you how you can become a more advanced and better developer. Let's first of all create within our introduction screen a skip button. So I simply call here show skip button to true. And then we also need to implement this skip. And here we need to set our text, for example, inside. And then we have here this button. And every time if we click on it, then he is going to the last page. Then you can also set here this next button, which will be displayed here on the right side. And here you can set, for example, a text inside, or like what I do, I put here simply an icon forward inside. And every time if we click here, then he's going to the next page. And we can also slide right now, and we can click here on this button to go to the different pages. Now we also want to change here the decoration of our little bubbles here at the bottom. And therefore you have here this dots decorator, and we want to create our own decoration. Here inside we can set, for example, this color for these inactive bubbles. So I set here a different gray color. Then we also can set a size, and this is here 10 by 10. And if you like, you can also increase it so that the bubbles get a little bit bigger. And these are only the inactive bubbles here from the size. And I will put it again to 10. However, you can also change the active size, so of this blue icon here, and therefore you have here this other size. And here you can set, for example, a higher size for this width parameter. And to make this working, you also need to set this active shape. And then we set here a circular shape, and then it will look like this here. If you like to change the color of our active bubble, you can also choose here this active color. And here you can set a different color for this bubble. And then you have here this orange color, for example. Let's also look at more things what you can do with this introduction screen. So we add here also this other field of onChange so that we can register the changes of our pages. And here I simply printed right now inside of the console the index of the page we are currently inside. So every time if we change here the current page, then you should see that we get here the new page, which is selected inside of our console. And then you can do here inside whatever you like if you go to a specific page. After it, we also have here this field of global background color. And here you set, for example, this blue color inside. So it's my primary color. This is the color of blue. And this means that if I scroll here to the left, then you see that we have this blue color. And also if we are here at the end, then you also have here this blue color. And if you like, you can also put here another color inside, for example, orange. And if I do this, then you see that we have here this orange color at the end and also at the beginning. By default, if we click here on these small bubbles, then he will simply go here to the next page. However, if you don't like this behavior, you can also set this is progress tab to false. And if you do this and we click then here on these bubbles, then nothing will happen. What you also can do is to hide these bubbles. So you simply call is progress and set it to false, and then the bubbles will disappear. Similarly to this, you also have a field for hiding this show next button, and therefore you call here show next and set it to false, and then this button will also disappear. By default, you can always swipe here to the left and to the right side. If you don't like this behavior, you can also set it here to freeze, and then the user cannot interact here by swiping left or right. He only can interact here with these buttons to go further, and that's the only choice for him. Lastly, you can also set here the duration of this animation. So this is a short animation. However, you can also increase it. So for example, I set it here to 1 second to 1000 milliseconds. And now if I click here on the next page, then you see that it takes longer to animate to the new page. Right now, if we click here on skip, then he will simply go to the last page. However, if you want to go directly inside of the app to the home page, then you also can override here this on skip, and then you can simply go here to the home page. So here we go here with our navigator to this home page. And now if I click here on skip, then he will go directly to the home page. The last tip I want to give you is that you can change here the skip and last button. So you can set both of them to the flex value of 0, and then they will have here less space and more space go to this bubbles. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel here to get the latest news about Flutter, and see you soon. Bye!